Well, good day, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial markets. And this is for Monday, the 21st of August, 2023. Simply put, understand the time frame you're in. You're in the dog days of summer, the last 2 weeks of August. Europeans are on vacation. We have our Fed chair is going to speak Friday morning at 9 o'clock Central Time and give us an update. Jackson Hole's not just about Fed Chair Powell. Generally, the Fed chairs have, if they have something to say of importance, this is an environment. But I don't think he does this time. I think all he's going to do is hold the line that he's had. I don't think this is a groundbreaking moment. But I think you have to listen to all the other central bankers and all the other economists that show up at this, because these are the big boys. And you're going to get ideas. With that, the markets start oscillating. They don't know what's going to be said, let alone how to interpret it, and let alone at this time of the year who's listening. You got all those problems. Pay attention to them. That's all that I could say. You trade smaller, I think, from here until Labor Day, and then I don't think it's going to be the typical everybody's got to go back to the office because so many people are at their office. They're at home and they're trading. But this is still the dog days of summer. Now, when I look at the S&P, I thought you might make a run, and you heard me say that last week in the weekly update at the 18-week average. Okay, so far it got to 43.72 and a quarter, right? And this is a close-only chart. It closed at 44.08. Remember, this is a close only, but intraday was that 18-day average of closes hit. Of course it was. Intra-week is the right way to say it. When we take a look at what the market's doing, it's been a leaking down market. That's the right wording, I think. Lower highs, lower lows. If the market wants to come down here, 43, 48, 47 and a half, that's the next support zone. But there's another one. You know, it's the Bollinger Band, and it's right here in combination with it. The market has been running it, and if you'll notice, today it broke away. It's one of the first days other than these two right here, and they closed near the lows, if you look at them. They were trying to come back down, where the market stepped away from it. Does it have meaning? Only if you lose the embedded reading. And by Jove, you tell me, you got a 22 reading tonight. Now, where were we? And let's see if I can get this to move. I'm praying it will. Yeah. On the close, 17. So the market is now in the warning stage. Any close over 21 and the odds favor price and the 18-day average are going to try to make a run at themselves. So be careful. This is, in my parlance, not the place that I'm interested in short positions. Same thing has to be said in the NASDAQ. You can see how you're turning up. If the market continues, and that's a big if, you got to get to the close. So you got to see how far it moves here and can it re-embed. The higher the market goes, the harder it'll be for it to re-embed. This is not hard to beat. Get a lot higher than this, and it's hard to get down and re-embed during the day. So that's how they work. Learn to work with them. I teach it, by the way, a lot of this in my enhanced Bollinger Band course. I work with the stochastic and these numbers. And right here, I've been saying, I think the pros are covering. I said it 2 days ago, right here. Why not? I mean, are we going to get the embedded reading? You can't count today, Tuesday, so you get both numbers under 20. Both numbers under 20. What about the day before? Both under 20. You have your embedded reading. Now, until you close over 21, bearishness. Do I think the pros are going to be aggressive? Well, if they're going to be aggressive on any, this is the one over the other two that I just showed you, as is the Russell, because of this reading. But I don't like in the Russell, and I said this in my subscriber video that you don't get to see here, folks, I'm not keen on selling into the very first test of a 200 and 100-day average when a market had it fall back to them. In the past, it's been supportive. That doesn't mean it has to stay supportive, but I'm concerned. I admit the momentum is bearish, but I have reservations about it. It means you don't have to do anything. Bond market, you saw my special report. I'm hoping that you did. I don't even know if it's still up or not. The computers take it off the website in that area, my research area. But look at how this market just keeps falling. I feel good. I did that report last Wednesday. And if you go back to last Wednesday, you were over here, and I'm looking for the market to continue down. I'm not off the beaten path, I think. Same thing happening in the notes, and you might even develop the bearish embedded reading. And in the dollar, when it reopens tonight, I don't know if it'll stay embedded. I'd be very cautious. The market was acting funky all day. It couldn't hold rallies. And it started easing back as the Swiss franc was going up and some of the other currencies. I was telling clients to do liquidation on my 11:30 update this morning. In the eurocurrency, you had gotten down to all that you had to go. Maybe that's enough. The market is right now flirting with trying to get over the 21 level. If it can stay there, it's a place not to be short. But I can tell you why in my head. It's because of Jackson Hole, everybody wondering what the central bankers that attend are going to say. You've gone as neutral as you can in the British pound in terms of just marrying the 18-day average and tightening up the Bollinger Bands. In Bitcoin, just falling apart, staying under the band. Now, here's the dilemma. Be it Grayscale, be it Coinbase, all these firms that they make a step forward, they think they win something, then the SEC steps right in and takes it back. The SEC was supposedly going to make some decisions on ETFs. Well, that was 2 weeks ago. They certainly don't sound like they're doing it. If anything, they announced last week they're going to challenge the one win, I think it's Grayscale, had in a court. That's not good. And the market's paying attention. In addition, higher interest rates, just like gold. Why do I have to own a crypto? They don't pay me anything. I want something that's got it. And that's what's happening here. And it's been a washout. You were just at 30,000. You're on the doorstep of 26. I mean, that's a big break any way you look. It's a 10% break plus. In Brent versus WTI, both going sideways, but it's going to be time to get rid of the October Brent. We're going to do that now, and we're going to have to move to November. I'll figure out how I want to do that spread differential, DC. It'll be something there. In the meantime, here is November Brent, and as you can see, the market's just caught in this sideways action. So far, OPEC has done a phenomenal job of holding prices together. I'm watching energy. It doesn't even respond to what went on Saturday in a report by The Sun, that's what I read today, where a U.S. warship, the Baton, was supposedly intercepted in the Strait of Hormuz with speakerphones blasting, drone attack, enough drones and speedboat attack where they had to land their helicopters and do whatever. There was no war. But of course, Iran is running supposedly with videos showing how they can take on the might of America. This thing is getting worse before it gets better if we keep all those ships there. We're supposedly, what was it, a week ago, we said we're going to put Marines on ships. Well, Iran's responding. And how do you fend off all those drones? I mean, I'm assuming our guns could shoot them down, but I don't know. Do I think there's going to be a test of it? Let me go on record. I do. In WTI, you're just drifting here at the 18-day average of closes, really not going backward or forward. Notice I've moved to the October. I've done the same in gasoline. Now, it's interesting. Gasoline at this time of the year is when the seasonal points to the upside. This chart's not bullish, not in any manner, okay? I don't know. You know, I don't go by the seasonal. I go by the chart, and if the seasonal's behind it, then I get more confidence. I have no confidence when the seasonal's up, but the chart action is bad. Charts rule the day, not the seasonals. And in the Nat Gas, you can see how the market is fighting between the 100-day average, the 18, but as long as it stays under it, the bias is to the downside. This hot weather we're getting, shouldn't that give us a big draw soon on Nat Gas? I would think so, but does the market build it in? Does it know it? I don't know. But 96-degree weather throughout the Midwest, East Coast going to get hit. Look what's going on in the Southwest. They're still burning up. I would imagine you're getting bigger draws than you think, but the market's still not lifting. As I said, learn the Bollinger Bands. Up here, you can click to get into and see the area of the course. You can watch this ad. That'll explain everything, as does our website. In the meantime, I'm Ira Epstein. You have a good evening. Welcome. I'm Ira Epstein, and I'm here to talk about my enhanced Bollinger Band course. Now, many of you have taken my regular charting course, and if not, you might think you know something about Bollinger Bands. As you know, Bollinger Bands are an algorithm designed to keep the market trading within it 95% of the time. And on a chart, it will offer on the top part resistance, on the bottom support, and the idea is the market will travel within them. We know that sometimes it latches onto that band, goes up or goes down. Well, how do you play with that? Can you pyramid the positions off that type of thinking? Well, I've applied all three of these into 13 different videos that teach you my concept of it. And from that concept, you're able to work with weekly charts and or daily charts. The 13 videos, each about 7 minutes long. The idea here is not to put you in school forever, but to teach. Now, if you haven't tried my complete futures research, I throw that in as well. Whether you've tried this or not, I think it's worth taking a look at. I think you're going to learn something from there. That research, by the way, covers twice daily market updates for you and access to what I call window envelope numbers, which I think are very important when looking at these Bollinger Bands. The next part is a trial to our charting software so you can make your charts look the same way that mine do. It's that simple. Where do you go with it and how do you get all this? It's simple. You go to our website, www.iraepstein.com. If you go to the word education, everything you need is answered there. You can also call my staff. They'll be happy to help you get set up. I'm Ira Epstein on the road to your education.